Guys, I've gained weight, but here's what we're gonna do about it. Pre-warning, it may not be what you think, or it may be exactly what you think, but we're gonna talk this through together. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and to another video. If you are new here, thank you for joining. Today we have a bit of a, should we say, vulnerable video? I feel like I have been very transparent with you guys, especially when it comes to weight loss and dieting and body image and all things like that. So I feel like I need to be so brutally honest and tell you exactly how I've been feeling lately, because I haven't been honest. But in this video, we're gonna dissect all of this, give you the brutal truth, total transparency, everything I've been thinking mentally, and how I'm gonna plan to maintain my weight loss in 2026. Obviously, we just need to do a little quick disclaimer, yeah? I am not a professional. I do not really know what I am talking about, okay? Yeah, I am not a registered dietitian at all. I have no personal training experience. However, I do have some experience in this realm, as I did lose 30 pounds. So this is purely from what I experienced and what I will be doing and what I will not be doing again moving forward. Okay, part one, y'all. We're gonna do a little bit of backstory. So for anyone who's new here or has not seen my previous weight loss video, I lost 30 pounds in 2024. I have maintained that same weight loss. However, I did not do it in the best way. I did it kind of unhealthily. Scratch that, very unhealthily. I was way too impatient. I wanted to lose the weight way too fast. I didn't see it as a marathon, I saw it as a sprint. I was just like, I want to get this over and done with so I never have to think about dieting or weight loss again. Rookie error. What I didn't realize at the time is if you want to lose a significant amount of weight and then maintain that weight loss, that is going to be a whole lifestyle change. And I did become very obsessive with it. I completely destroyed my relationship with food, and I feel like we should know this by now, that restriction often leads to binging. So I had this whole restrictive binge cycle, and it also had physical effects. I lost my period, I was irrational, I was angry, I was constantly lethargic, and I just wasn't myself. It did get to a point where it was really bad, and I was the lowest weight that I've ever been in my life. Realized that that was not healthy, and for my own health, I needed to gain a little bit of weight, which I did. And I was then at a weight where I felt very comfortable. I felt healthy. I was at a weight where I could live happily, I could function. So we were at a good place. Do you know what I mean? This leads us onto part two, which is what's happened now. Now, I would like to say that I have successfully mended my relationship with food. However, I actually don't think that will ever be the case. It's so sad because I feel like when it comes to calorie counting and weight loss, there is naivety. And once you kind of break that barrier, I don't think you're ever going to have a normal relationship with food again. Or you can, but it will just take so much time. Unfortunately, I feel like I will always just know the calories of things. That is information that I'm never going to be able to get rid of. However, I can get to a point where I stop caring as much about those calories. Now, I'm going to be so perfectly honest. I feel like when you have been restricting for so much of your life, there is almost a little bit of a rebound, a little bit of time where you almost like overeat in order to compensate for how much lack of nutrition you have had. And I did kind of experience a little bit of that. I got help when I was at my lowest. And one of the things that they said was this would often be the case. And sometimes just to gain weight or get your body back to a place where it is normally functioning, you're gonna have to eat when you wouldn't normally, or eat when you're not necessarily hungry. So that was kind of what I was doing throughout 2025, was just trying to really get to a better relationship with food, not calorie count, just be calorie conscious so that I could still maintain my weight loss. Because also, if you're new here and you don't already know this, I also do modeling, and as much as I love modeling and I wouldn't change the career for anything, unfortunately, one of the things is you do just have to be careful when it comes to your body. You have measurements that your modeling agency are sending out to people, and it is your responsibility to maintain those measurements. So it is important that I maintain my physique, which I have done. And I know that isn't for everyone. Look, I don't want people to be listening to me speaking right now and be like, oh my gosh, this is so sad. I know it's sad, the thought of having to look after your body to do your career, but I love it. I love modeling. I wouldn't change it. And for right now, it is a sacrifice that I am willing to make for what I want to do. Now, this moves me to my initial statement, which is that I have gained weight. I've gained weight. I've maybe gained a little bit more than I intended to, especially over the Christmas period. But I do want to premise that by saying that is completely normal. Something else I've had to really accept when it comes to losing weight and the aftermath of all of that is that your weight fluctuates so much. I have gained weight over the Christmas period. duh. The thing is, and I think the most healthy mindset to have when it comes to that is not caring. And again, being so transparent and so real, I'd be lying if I said I completely didn't care. I do care. Obviously I care. Like I said, it has to do with my career, so I always need to be careful when it comes to my weight, but also just from a pure vanity perspective, being so transparent once again, I like how I look. There is also some body image coming into it of just, that is my personal preference. That is how I feel my best, is by looking a certain way. I think what's important though is when it comes to weight fluctuating, I know that I'm going to hold myself accountable, which is why I don't let it bother me as much. I let myself exercise less, eat more, and enjoy my time around Christmas, but I'm absolutely okay with that because I know myself and I know come January, I'm going to hold myself accountable. And that swimmingly brings me on to part 3, which is my plan for 2026. How I'm going to lose those extra couple of pounds in a healthy way this time, and also just continue maintaining my weight loss. I think what's most important is your diet. Obviously, I am going to have to watch what I'm eating, but I've always been that way. Ever since I've lost weight, I've always had to change my diet anyway. But I think what's so important is that's not just associated to my weight. I eat the way that I do because of so many other benefits. Post-Christmas, it may not look like it, but my skin has been
absolutely awful.
So not only am I going to be watching what I'm eating from a bodily perspective, but from a skin perspective and from an energy perspective. I have so much more energy. I feel better when I'm eating a certain way. Now, how might that be? Nutrients-rich foods. It is so important that I am focusing on nutrients-rich foods and foods that are going to be good for my body, but especially my gut. There's been so much research to show how gut health links to so many aspects of your life. Like I said, not just weight, but your skin, your sleep, your daily functioning. So it's really important to kind of heal that. Also, I'm not a nutritionist. This is just based off of books that I've read when it comes to nutrition, because I do love nutrition. Like, I find it very interesting how your diet can affect how you feel. And one thing that's really important, a lot of people say eat loads of fruit and vegetables. Absolutely. But what's really going to be good for your gut health is eating a wide variety. When I was reading this book about your gut microbiome, one thing they really said was important was trying to aim for at least 30 different fruit and vegetables a week. So switching it up, not having the same things in a salad every day, every morning having different fruits, that's going to be one of my goals. And obviously just focusing on foods that are gut healthy anyway, things that are high in pro and prebiotics. Something else I'm really going to focus on when it comes to diet is fueling myself accordingly. I do not want to underfuel myself whenever I am exercising. So making sure that I'm always fueling myself pre-exercise so I can get the most out of when I exercise. And also just making sure that I have a balanced diet. One thing that I really struggled with post weight loss and post restriction is having certain fear foods. I didn't understand how people could be like scared of foods. It is hard, but I want to try and get better at that in 2026 and have more of a balanced plate. It's important to have carbs, fats, and protein at every meal. So that is going to be a goal for 2026. Always make sure that I'm having some protein. I'm always quite good with protein, but also focusing on having some healthy fats, which definitely won't be difficult to do because I freaking love nuts.
Oh, no.
Not like that! And having some carbs, which as much as I hate to say it, I don't eat enough carbs, so I want to get better at that. Also, another thing that I really want to get better at is weaning off artificial stuff. This is the thing, okay? Another thing that I want to focus on when it comes to diet, I am the biggest sweet tooth. I am really going to try and make an effort, however, to wean off artificial sugars. I am obsessed with like artificial sweeteners because obviously it was a great alternative when I was losing weight because they have low calories, but they are so bad for you. And that is definitely something that I want to try and get better at. I am such a soda pop girly. I literally love fizzy drinks and I really want to try to get better at not having as many of them, and also just using more natural sweeteners to sweeten my drinks and stuff like that, because technically I'm not trying to lose weight. I'm trying to have more longevity, and although there are a few pounds I'm trying to lose post Christmas, I feel like that will kind of come off naturally if I just return to more normal eating. So some other habits that I definitely want to focus on in order to help lose those extra couple of pounds. I already get at least 10k steps a day, but I am going to bump up my goal a little bit whilst I'm in a little bit of a weight loss period. So I'm going to be aiming for 13 to 15k steps a day, but sort of get that anyway. So it may seem excessive, but I actually love walking, and living in Manchester, it is a walkable city and I pretty much walk everywhere. I walk to uni, I often will walk around town. So honestly, having a goal of 15k steps, it's not that hard for me. And some other things I'm going to prioritize is my water and my sleep. When when I was losing weight, I was drinking so much water, and I think that's something that really helped me during my weight loss. Post weight loss, when I was just maintaining it, I really started slacking on the water front, and I really want to get better at it. And also, like I was saying earlier, when it comes to fizzy drinks and stuff, sometimes when I was thirsty, I would have a fizzy drink instead of water. That is a habit that I really want to get out of. And if I'm thirsty, actually drinking water before I go to a fizzy drink or something like that. And secondly, tracking sleep. Sleep again is so important for weight loss and weight maintenance. I recently got an Oura ring and I love her so much, and she has been fantastic so far at tracking my sleep, but it is a new purchase for 2026, so I'm definitely going to use it to hopefully make sure I maintain good sleeping habits and just prioritizing that. And finally, part 4, what I will not be doing in this weight loss phase. Number 1 is track calories, however, within reason. Like I said earlier, I think one of the sad things when it comes to weight loss is you lose a bit of naivety. Once you start looking at the calories and things, unfortunately, that is stuff that you will just not be able to stop doing. And like I said earlier, I kind of will always know the calories of the foods that I eat because of my weight loss phase, and especially because of how obsessive I became with it. Unfortunately, that's knowledge that I will now have. So there are 2 reasons about not tracking calories. First of all, I don't want to reach an obsessive point with it again. I think I'm just one of those people who, when I start, I can't really stop, and I kind of do everything to 110%. I can't like middle ground something. So I just know mentally if I start tracking calories again, I will become obsessive with it. And the other reason why I'm not going to track calories is because I don't really think I need to. Now, what I will be doing is more like kind of portion control, I guess. We'll be measuring out things, but I'm not going to like constantly log and track calories in the same way that I did the first time I lost weight. But I feel like by measuring and weighing out things, it will still help me stay mindful about what I'm eating. I do want to premise this by saying that I've not tried this, and if it ever reaches a point where I feel like I'm becoming obsessive with it again, I will be stopping that. So stay tuned if you want to hear updated with whether or not I actually think that's going to be a good idea. The other thing that I'm not going to do is overexercise. That was another thing that was really bad when I was losing weight the first time round, is I was overexercising way too much. Hi guys, Editing Rosie here. I recently listened to this podcast with this Victoria's Secret personal trainer, and it was so good as well. Spoke a lot about how overexercising can be really bad for women's bodies, especially, both from an energy and fatigue perspective, but also from an aesthetic perspective as well. So definitely recommend. I will have it linked in the description for anyone interested. I was putting my body under so much stress, which is also why I think I lost my period, and it just was not healthy. And also I didn't enjoy it. I reached a point where I just didn't enjoy exercise because I felt this constant pressure to be doing so much of it. Now when I exercise, it comes from a place of me actually wanting to do something, and I think that is so much healthier. Also, the other thing is when it comes to energy expenditure, if you start expending a lot more energy, you're gonna want to eat more. And I already do so much exercise. I already eat a frick ton. I don't need to be doing any more of that and expending any more energy than I already do. So I'm just gonna keep all of my exercise the same as I've been doing lately, exercising when I want to and when it feels good for me. The only thing that I'm going to be changing, obviously, like I said, is my step count. The other thing that I am not going to do is beat myself up when I don't meet my goals. This is coming from a place of just being kind to myself. Like I said, I know how dedicated I am as an individual. I know how I give everything 110%, and although that is a trait that I love about myself, it's also my biggest flaw, because it means that from a mental health perspective, I can get quite negative and very harsh on myself. So one thing I'm going to be doing this time round is just showing myself a lot more kindness. If I don't hit 15k steps a day, that's okay. Tomorrow is a new day. Do not beat yourself up about it. You're still making progress. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. We can still keep growing and achieving our goals. One bad day doesn't kill months of progress. And this is the other reason why I will not be doing this other thing, and that is I will not be doing 75 hard. I did this time last year, and it kind of was what reached me to my breaking point. 75 hard is a fantastic challenge. It is very, very difficult, but it's a great challenge if you want that dedication, really holding yourself accountable. It is not for everyone, and it is not for me. What works for one person isn't necessarily going to work for you. 75 hard did not work for me because, like I said, I need something that's more forgiving. I will beat myself up about it. I will force myself to do things just so that I can complete a challenge, and it is a very difficult challenge to do every day. It doesn't fit with my lifestyle, and although I like the premise of it, I have different goals. Something else that I've seen that I will be doing instead at some point over this next month, I don't know when I'm going to start it just yet, but it's 45 forward. It's very similar to 75 hard, but just a lot less hard harsh or strict, which like I said, for some people they won't like, but for me, I think is going to be a lot better so that I can still be hitting my goals and giving myself a little something to hold myself accountable, but still be kinder to myself mentally. And that's about everything. Just another little disclaimer. Like I said earlier, obviously I am not a professional. I am not a personal trainer. I am not a nutritionist. This is purely just from my own experience. You guys, we're friends, okay? And I have been very honest when it comes to my weight loss journey and just my body in general. So I feel like I deserve to give you a little update on how I've been thinking and what my goals and plan for 2026 is moving forward with all of that. If you enjoyed this video, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications. You already know the drill. Comment down below if you have any thoughts or opinions about this subject. And as always, if you are ever struggling when it comes to food or weight loss, never hesitate to reach out because your girl has been there, done that, and always get help. It's important to prevent it from becoming an issue before it actually becomes a serious one. Never be scared of getting a little help because at the end of the day, that's what professionals are there for. If you are new here, I also do vlogging, so make sure that you check that out. I love you all very much and I will see you in my next video or vlog. Bye guys, love you. Mwah.